Hi everyone, I'm Natalie and I'm coming to you live from Ashland. So I am a self-relationship somatic coach and healer, and I am extremely passionate about a lot of topics. And the one that I'm going to be speaking to you about today is centered around speaking your truth. It's centered around this concept, this idea of how do you get into a place in your body, in your being, where you feel really, really comfortable, even when you're uncomfortable, to stand up and to speak your truth. How does that make you feel? And what do you do when you kind of feel really like it's just like eating you up inside, and you kind of feel like, gosh, this energy is not mine, but how do I actually get my words out? And talk about the amount of ease that you feel when you do get your words out. So number one, it's all about having that awareness within yourself, having that space of like deep, deep, deep love for yourself, that like, wow, like I want to get my words out. My words are important, my words matter. And if I don't get them out, it's not fair to me. Number one, because you are your number one priority. And number two, it's not fair to the other person that you are feeling these feelings around, like, I want to be able to say this to you, and I don't know how to say this to you. And maybe can you relate to fear that person's reaction? Like fear, like they might jump on me, they might get really angry with me, that person might reject me, that person might abandon me, like whatever your story is, henceforth, that story comes from what happened to you. What happened to you in your childhood? What kinds of wounds are you holding on to? Maybe wounds that you haven't been able to like literally get out of you, like to express yourself clearly, to really feel safe to do so. So one of the things that I teach my clients, it's something that I've really learned through hands-on experience, and it came to me, like it got to the point where it became so super clear when I was traveling, when I was in places where I didn't know people. So for some reason, I'm sure you know this because you guys are your own best healer, when you're surrounded around people that you don't know, becomes a lot easier to speak your truth, right? Because you don't fear so much like, what if they reject you? What if they're like, who are you? What do you think? Why do you think that you can say that to me? Who do you think you are? So one of the best things and I'm so grateful that I was able to have those experiences over and over again, because where I came from, when I was a child, it was not safe to speak my truth. In fact, when I spoke my truth, it was most of the times considered disrespect, that I was not respecting, for example, my father. That was like the person that like, don't say anything to him. You don't know how he's going to respond. I'm sure you guys can relate to that with somebody in your life, with somebody, whether it's a father, a mother, whoever it may be. Maybe you had that relationship with your grandmother. It doesn't matter. The point is that we hold on to those memories. They store inside of our cells, right? And so as an adult, oftentimes we're still playing out that same role that we played when we were a child. So it becomes really hard to speak your truth. So I'm going to recommend that you start by really like finding that space of like lots of love within yourself, and you start to imagine yourself as this beautiful, strong tree, right? And this tree is so present, is so grounded. So you start to feel your roots, you start to feel what it's like to really be in your body, not to be somewhere else, right? And when you are feeling these feelings and you just want to speak them, number one, what have you tried asking yourself? Do I want this inside of me right now? Do I want to like hold on to these feelings inside of me? Like, do I want to hold on to these thoughts? Like, are they even mine? Do I deserve, like, do I need to keep them inside of me? And number two, do you feel safe? Do you feel safe to let it go? Because oftentimes why we're not able to speak our truth, especially around people that can be a little bit intimidating, or maybe for some reason we've created that story in our minds that person is intimidating. So do you feel safe to let it go? And what is it going to take for you to start to feel safe? How are you going to get that safety back inside of yourself? And number three, do you believe that it's possible for you to let it go? Do you believe that it's possible for you to like Speak those words from your heart. Let them come up and out of you. Do you believe that you have that in you, that you matter, that you are so important? As I say that, right? It's trigger. Sometimes we say these things and it just triggers us a little bit. So I wanted to just speak to you guys today about those 3 questions. And once you explore those 3 questions, you'll start to find that space within yourself where you feel like, gosh, like it's so good to be in my body, in my being, because I get to speak my truth. And when I speak my truth, I no longer have to hold on to anything that's not mine, right? And when you speak your truth, you create more and more space for yourself to receive, to receive, to receive, to receive who you truly are, to receive all the love that you are. So I invite you, no matter how uncomfortable it is, speak your truth, speak your truth, speak your truth. Because guess what? In the end of the day, nobody else is going to do it for you. And in the end of the day, who you truly are is incredible. Who you truly are is courageous. Who you truly are is absolutely magnificent. So it's time for you to start claiming that. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. If you want to connect with me more, feel free to connect with me on social media at Natalie Kwait. And I'm also on Instagram as well, so I would love to connect with you more. And speaking of things, speaking my truth, I have an incredible, incredible experience that I'm going to be giving to you coming up very soon. So if you want to know more about those details, feel free to connect with me. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear from you what do you think would be most supportive for you right now? Like what kinds of teachings, what kinds of experiences would really help you to get more comfortable, even when you're uncomfortable, to get more into that that tree that lives so deep inside of you? What do you think what is it gonna take? What do you require right now so that you can feel the courage, the truth of who you really are? I love you guys so much. Have an amazing day.